Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome, everyone, to Texas Songwriters Alliance Audio Impact on Lone Star Community Radio. I am your host, Alex Lozano. And before we get started with our very, very special guest, piano great, Ezra Charles. This guy is absolutely an amazing musician and artist. We're going to hear some of his newest records. I mean, just came out just a couple of weeks ago, so you guys are about to be blown away. You know, like each week we shows I recommend, so let me go ahead and get to those before we get back with the great Ezra Charles. So this Friday, Decoy Donation Drive, charity event at the Decoy. It's Hayden Hadlock with Charlie McCabe, and then I'm doing a deep dive with Ron Harris Panich. He's the drummer for Side Piece, Idolized Billy Idol Tribute Band, and American Witch, the #1 Rob Zombie band in the state of Texas. And then it's the legendary Don Tino, his birthday bash at Scout Bar. He does every year, and it's like a who's who. We ain't got that kind of time. Fake It's going to be there. Jason Burrell, Chuckster, really cool rap and hip hop artist. It's going to be an amazing show at Scout Bar this coming Friday. And then Nigel Edison live at, I haven't been to this venue. It's got a very unique name. I Don't Know Yet Lounge. Very kind of long. So Saturday, my good friend, big shout out to you, buddy, one of the hardest working men in entertainment. That's my boy, O-Ray Phillips. The O-Ray Phillips band, they're going to be at the Silver Spot Saloon. Side Piece is going to be at the Ice House 1485 and Bar and Grill in New Caney, and that is also Ron Harris Panich, his band. And then at Dan Electro's, we got Sarah, Megan Jans, D-Bed, and Hex boyfriend, not X, but Hex your boyfriend at Dan Electro's, the world famous Dan Electro's, the Nailers at Rock Newtony Sports Bar, and then the one and only, she's an amazing young player. She's totally kick butt, and it's her band, the Skins, are at Sawyer's Ice Out. That would be the one and only Sadie Williams. She's an amazing artist. Everybody loves her. And I've got my boy Carlos on the drums. I've known him for a long time. Ghost, the famous Ghost World Tour at Toyota Center. That's going to be Saturday. And we're almost done here. So Sunday Supper by Marley Hell, and then Red McAdam at the Neon Possum. That's a cool venue I've been hearing about. O-Ray Band, again, is going to be playing there this weekend. And then Nightbird over at Pub 529, along with Chasing Yesterday, and just a bunch of really, really great bands. I want to thank a few sponsors real cool. Country Singer, he's one of my new sponsors. That is Travis Bashman. He's a fantastic country singer. He's got a hit song coming out. He's got a hit song out now called Trump is on the Way, and it's amazing. And he sings gospel, and he's one of my new sponsors and becoming a really, really fast friend for all kinds of different reasons. A big shout out to Hamilton over at 10X Health. And always, as usual, big thank out to God and my military grade girlfriend, Kimberly. I can't wait to see you Thursday night. So here we are with the one and only Ezra Charles. I've only just recently met this gentleman a little more than 24 hours ago. It's just weird how life happens. And he was nice enough to invite me over. And just a gracious Southern gentleman and a great piano player who I've heard of. I've seen him play at Party on the Plaza. I've seen him play at the Rockets. You know, that's a whole other part show. This might be just part number one. You know, we might have to have a couple of parts with you. We have a deep dive because it's not your first rodeo. So tell us a little bit about the album real quick before you tell us about song number one you want us to hear. Then we'll go through them.
Howdy, Alex. It's a real pleasure to be here today with you.
It's awesome.
I just released a vinyl record that contains a selection of 12 songs from my various CDs. I've actually put out 10 CDs over the years, which comprises about 100 original songs. And so I picked the best 12 because I wanted people to take another listen to all these songs because I felt like they'd been underevaluated. I know I've had great success over the last 40 years with my band, Ezra and the Works. We've played all over Houston, and we've played in Italy. We even played a concert in Ecuador. We've always had a great response. Everybody loves that piano horn sound that I brought from Beaumont, where I grew up. And by putting out what I think are my catchiest 12 songs, I'm hoping people will take another listen to all of them.
I think that's not going to be a problem. We already know that just after the little reel that I made of you just about 12, 13 hours ago. So yeah, I mean, good is good. And you're great at what you've done, and you've been great for a long time. I think of you as more of an international entertainer. You're based out of Houston, but you've played all over the world. So tell us a little bit about song number one, and which one are you going to treat us to? It's only a 1 hour show. So.
Well, we'll start with the first song on the record. It's called A Little of This. And this is just a typical rock and roll song, but it's a great dance song. And I've always wanted, even if we're not playing somewhere where there's a dance floor, I want people to wish there was. I want people to get up and dance in their seat or just sit there and move to the music.
Oh my God, all the world's a stage. It's where you're standing is your dance floor. So I get that.
So this first song is a good example of that. It's called A Little of This.
You guys are in for a treat.
Well, a little of this and a little of that. That's what I'm gonna give to you, and that ain't the half. I'll make your day seem right when I come home every night with a little of this, yeah, and a little more of that. Well, you know I'm gonna treat you right, and that I ain't no fooling. Yeah, I know more than anyone else about kissing and wooing. I got you doing what I want, baby, what I stunt. I stand on your back step and I call your name. A little of this and a little of that. That's what I'm gonna give to you, and that ain't the half. I'll make your day seem right when I come home every night with a little of this, yeah, and a little more of that. Well, you give to me what I want and need, and it pays off for you. I guess I might as well concede, let you know, yeah, you know, just what to do. Just a little of this and a little of that. That's what I'm gonna give to you, and that ain't the half. I'll make your day seem right when I come home every night with a little of this, yeah, and a little more of that. I guess I might as well concede and let you know, yeah, you know, just what to do. Just a little of this and a little of that. That's what I'm gonna give to you, and that ain't the half. I'll make your day seem bright when I come home at night with a little of this, yeah, and a little more of that. Well, just a little of this, yeah, and a little more of that. Well, just a little of this, yeah, and a little more of that.
Damn. I mean, that's all I can say. What a toe tapper. It moves. It's got some movement on that song. I think Eric Avenger was a decent assessment that he said it's kind of like a mild Jerry Lee Lewis. So I don't know how close that is. I mean, I just know that he was a wild man, and I never seen you jump on a piano before, but I've seen you knock the hell out of it. So
I've lit a few on fire.
oh Lord, I
do that almost every show.
Oh wow, that is like your piano version of Hendrix. You know, the way he would.
Yeah, Jerry Lee pioneered that effect too.
Okay.
Well, if you go back to the beginning here, we can jump down to song number 3 called Beaumont Boys. I grew up in Beaumont. When I was 14, I met Johnny and Edgar Winter, and they started a band with me as a piano player and a drummer.
Wow.
And we played all that school year and had a great time. And then at some point after leaving Beaumont, I realized how many famous musicians had their origins in Beaumont. So I tried to put them all together and list them in this next song called Beaumont Boys.
Okay. Jan is for sure.
Way back in the 40s, Harry James was a trumpet king. When he left his hometown with a great big sound, he showed the world how a band could swing. Well, them Beaumont boys, them Beaumont boys could jam. There must be something in the water that makes them play harder. Them Beaumont boys could jam. And along came the rock and roll 50s. The big bopper was a jiving fool. When he left his hometown with a great big sound, he showed the world what it meant to be cool. Well, them Beaumont boys could jam. There must be something in the weather that makes them play better. Them Beaumont boys could jam. In Red Hot Peak of the 60s, Johnny Winter paid his guitar dues. When he left his hometown with a great big sound, when you a white boy can play the blues. Turn on your TV in the 70s, Edgar Winter's on the concert stage. When he left his hometown with a great big sound, he became a funky synthesizer rage. Well, them Beaumont boys could jam. There must be something in the ground to give them that sound. Yeah, them Beaumont boys could jam. Clay Walker, Tracy Bird, and Mark Chestnut started out playing local bars. They left their hometown with that Beaumont sound. Now they're country music superstars. Well, them Beaumont boys could jam. There must be something in the air that give them that flair. Yeah, them Beaumont boys could jam. Well, them Beaumont boys could jam. something in the town that give 'em that sound. Yeah, them Beaumont boys could jam.
Yeah. Well, I think you named everybody from Beaumont. And,
Yeah, except me. I used to have a verse in there that made fun of me, and I took it out.
Oh, well.
It was something to the effect of Ezra Charles plays his rockin' song. When he left his hometown, he never dreamed it would take this long.
Wow.
That's the missing verse that I didn't record.
Right, that's the missing link there. That sentence. That's great. Another banger of a song. I mean, everyone, you're just really, really good at what you do.
Well, I want to jump down to side 2 here.
Okay, let's
for
do that.
a song. When I was in high school, I walked into the band hall one morning, and they had a new record on the turntable. They had a big stereo system there, and it was a new record by Bobby Blue Bland called Two Steps from the Blues. And I like to say that if I was left on a desert island and I only could pick 10 albums to take with me, that'd be the first one I would pick, is that album. So over the years, I always wanted to write a song that would it sounded like it fit on that album with the same type of horn section. And so this song is called Put the Blame on Me.
Was this the bluesy thing, the song that you were kind of talking about a little bit?
It's definitely
yesterday?
the bluesiest one on this collection, on this record.
Right. You brought that up a little bit yesterday.
In the early 2000s, I put out 2 different CDs that are very bluesy. But I love this song because it's reminiscent of that era with Bobby Blue Bland.
Which one is this? Which one?
Put the Blame on Me.
Oh, side B.
Yeah.
Song number 1. Ezra Charles.
Put the blame on me. I've done you wrong, 'cause I kept loving you just a little too long. You thought it was over, but I didn't have a clue. Put the blame on me for still loving you. You found me guilty in a court of love, 'cause you had someone you were fonder of. So you kept on digging till you finally found some little thing to put me down. Now all those years of love we shared, you want to throw them all away. They don't mean anything to you compared to how you feel today. You've been romanced and wined and dined until your feet are off the ground. Now you need someone to blame for why you fooled around. You can blame on me if you feel that way. But I'm not leaving. I'm here to stay. I can't just stop feeling the way that I do. Put the blame on me for still loving you. Now when you needed me the most, 'cause you were down and sad and blue, you never said a word to me, but kept it all inside of you. Then you turned away from me just in your way. So inconvenient being here today. But I've got these feelings that this won't do. Put the flame on me for still loving you. Yeah.
I'm so glad made me an amazing multitasker, you know, because the ears can go one way. I can do this, whatever. Good is good. Jesus, the way you orchestrate, the way you put your riffs on the piano with, are you also conducting, I'm sure, all of the trumpets, and you're writing everything?
Yeah, the horn arrangements are all written by me specifically, note for note. And when I write songs now, or the last many years, the horn lines are an integral part of these songs, and the songs almost don't exist without them.
They make it super powerful.
You'll especially notice that on the next one. Now, I got out of Beaumont as fast as I could. As soon as I got out of high school, headed over to Houston where I went to college. And as soon as I got there, I found out the best cheap date in town was to take your girl down and take a ride on the Bolivar Ferry.
Right on.
First of all, the price is right.
Yeah,
if
you
you're
can't beat that. It's
starving
free.
college student. Now, I had a date with a girl from Amarillo one time that was visiting, and she had never seen the ocean before.
Oh, wow.
She thought she was on a cruise ship.
I bet y'all had a really great night. I'm just saying.
Well, this worked out so well for me, I started doing it on a regular basis. But one time I got in a little trouble, and
Lord.
that's what this song is all about. This is called Bolivar Ferry.
Trouble on the Ferry, y'all. Ezra Charles.
Just about to cry. I said, why don't we go out for the afternoon down to Galveston and give it a try? So I threw all her things in the back of my car and we headed off down to the beach. I had the beer on ice and the top was down and paradise was in our reach. And the seawall was way too loud. But I knew to keep on driving to the end of the road till I spotted a familiar sight. It was a line of cars waiting single file for the ferry coming in on the right. That Bolivar Ferry was my love boat cruise that didn't cost a single dime. A 20-minute ride off to Crystal Beach, and she'd be ready for a grand old time. So we laid out on the sand and we drank those brews till the sun was headed west. I never got her out of that wet t-shirt, but you know I must have tried my best. Now when we headed off to home and I cracked the key, there was nothing but a click and a sound. With that radio blasting all afternoon long, I must have run the battery down. Now by the time I found a wrecker who could jump us on, I have to say we'd lost the mood. Yeah, my diet had been drained to the very last drop, and I knew her parents could get rude. Well, it was way after dark when she payphoned home, and we still had the channel to cross. But we made the most of that cruise back home, so it wouldn't be a total loss. Yeah, that Bolivar Ferry was my love boat cruise. It didn't cost a single dime. A 20-minute ride off to Crystal Crystal Beach, and she'd be ready for a grand old time. So won't you throw all your things in the back of my car, and we'll head off down to the beach. We'll put the beer on ice, and the top goes down, and paradise is in our reach. Yeah, we'll put the beer on ice, and the top goes down, and paradise is in our reach.
Oh my gosh, man. You're just, I bet you people never sit down at your shows sometimes if they can.
Well,
if
I
they
hope
can.
not.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
my
want them
gosh.
jumping out of those seats and
Yeah, and getting
having
off
the
of that.
cops come over and say, "You kids got to sit down here and no me jumping around in the aisles."
Has that happened to you before?
No, but it happened. I see it on TV a lot.
I saw it on. I
50s,
saw
you
it
know.
on. I saw it when on Ray Charles.
Yeah,
when,
yeah.
that movie was,
Elvis did that kind of stuff.
right. Elvis the Pelvis.
Well, I want to play a song now that is a movie theme song. I got a call from a movie director named Pete Masterson, and we had played for his daughter's wedding. His daughter was Mary Stuart Masterson, who was the actress that starred in Fried Green Tomatoes.
Right.
And so he called me up and said he wanted me to write a theme song for a movie he was presently shooting in Galveston with Roy Scheider. He said, what I need is a love theme that has baseball references in it, because that was part of the plot of the movie,
Right.
for a slasher movie. It turned out the plot of the movie was an ex-Astros pitcher had been fired and got in a car wreck and had a hook instead of a hand, and so he turned into a serial killer on the beach in Galveston, and Roy Scheider was a detective that was charged with
Oh my
tracking
God.
him down.
You know what? I'm sure the Astros don't want to hear about any of that. One of their ex-pitchers went psycho.
Well, this is a good challenge for a songwriter,
Sure.
a song to be written on command.
Right.
And so this is what I was,
Put you on the spot.
what I came up with. The name of the movie was The Night Game, and that's the name of the song.
Yeah, baseball night game. Ezra Charles.
I know you want someone to want you. You know I want the same thing too. That's why we go the places that we go and do the things we do. But we can never know the outcome of whether we'll lose or win till we pick our spot and take our shot and see the shape we're in the night game. Played under the lights, it's the night game. Everything's alright in our night game. Now I know you like to tease me, and I like to tease you too. And if you take the time to please me, I could please you like I do. But you gotta send me signals so I'll know which fits to use. 'Cause if I throw a curve, you'll lose your nerve. Then we'll both just lose in the night game. Played under the lights, it's the night game. Everything's alright in our night game. crowds are thinning down. Still we keep pushing to our limits, looking for the thrills we found when we came here for the first time. Now we'll never be the same. But in the morning dawn, when the feeling's gone, trophies still remain from our night game. Played under the lights, it's the night game. Everything's alright in our night game.
I think that might be one of my favorite songs for now because you just have so many of them, and But so before the song was over, I was pointing over at Ezra and talking about the guitar player. That lead was just amazing, and he's like, "That's what we're going to talk about next." What's up? Who's that?
I've been lucky enough to have some really talented Houston musicians cooperate with me and play my music. The guitar player on that song is Joe Gavito, and he was in the band in the mid-'90s. The other guitar over the course of the record was mostly played by Michael Seabold, who's another great jazz guitar player. Okay. And Michael followed in the footsteps of Joe, and the first thing he did was he learned everything that Joe used to do on all of the songs before he came along, and then he expanded on that. Yeah. So that's been very convenient for all of us. That wonderful sax solo in there was by Kelly Dean.
Oh, I know Kelly.
Kelly Dean plays most of the sax solos in this record, but that one just takes off and soars.
Right.
And he's one of those guys, you go in the studio, and you always want to make sure you record his first attempt, because it's probably going to be the best one. That's the first time he ever played a solo on that song, and he just nailed it.
He's good about getting that lightning in a bottle right off the bat.
Yeah.
Big shout out to him. I'm almost pretty sure he's one of the co-founders of a Sunday thing they used to do over at my boy Mitch Brunham's place, Instant Karma, a super group called TKO.
Yeah.
And did you ever sit in with those guys? I mean, you're too busy anyway.
I'm not good enough to play with those guys. Those guys are all jazz guys, and I don't pretend to be a jazz musician.
Right.
I'm a blues piano player. I'm a singer-songwriter. I love singing and I love arranging horns.
So I got to tell you, I'm talking to one of my guitar senseis, the great Eric Avenger. He's a super phenomenal guitar player, jazz guy. So I'm telling him that I'm talking to Ezra Charles, and I'm losing my mind. Go, man, he's awesome. He's done this, he's done that, he's an inventor. And then I go, then he stops and he hesitates and he goes, well, he's not a jazz guy. But I mean, just like,
yeah.
And I was like, okay, because I'm not a music genius, whatever, and whatever you say.
Well, I think more people like to listen to the kind of music that I make than like to listen to jazz.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Way
it
more.
works out good for me.
It does. It really does. So I'm almost finished with that. So when he told me that, I was like, okay, I get it, but he is just such a music aficionado that when he told me that, and I was like, and just like you did, it's more of a popular music. They sell more R&B and blues records than they do jazz records.
One time I was at a panel discussion that Huey Moe was at, and
okay.
Somebody asked him from the audience, with all of the great jazz musicians in Houston, how come you've never put any records out on them? And Huey Moe said, well, let me tell you about your jazz fans. Your jazz fans, they love their jazz, but they don't buy any records.
That is great. Well, how many songs have we? For the first time ever, I've lost count.
Well, who cares?
Right.
Really, yeah.
You hear that?
Now,
who cares? Let's do it.
I decided to take a break from solid touring about 10 years ago after 30 years of Ezra Charles and the Works. And I told everybody I was retiring, but I didn't really. And obviously, I'm back now, and we're playing all over the place. And the original band has been reconstituted almost precisely as it was. But in the intermediate time, I wanted to do another type of show. I put together a one-man show called The Story of Boogie Woogie. I was really interested in Boogie Woogie and had been learning how to play some of it. So I put together a show where I would play about a dozen different classic Boogie Woogie songs, including a couple of my own. And during the course of the show, I had a narration that was almost like stand-up comedy, where I would tell people the origins of Boogie Woogie. Most people don't know that Boogie Woogie was invented in Texas in the 1870s, 80s. A lot of the black people that had been freed in the South after the Civil War moved to Texas, and they all went to work. Well, a lot of them went to work in East Texas at lumber camps, and they would go away for weeks at a time. And when they came back to the camp at night, the only thing they had to entertain them at the mess hall was a piano and one guy. And these guys had to invent something they could play that these guys wanted to dance to, because they had a dance they called the boogie woogie. Right. And it was a moving your foot around kind of thing, like the way if you watch films of James Brown, that's what he's doing on stage.
Right.
Now,
lots of bravado, just energy.
After the music started being recorded and issued on sheet music, the sheet music would say Pine Top's Boogie Woogie. People then assumed that Boogie Woogie actually was the music, but it was a dance. Okay. They called the music originally Texas-style piano. Okay. Too bad they didn't keep that name.
Right.
We didn't know where it came from.
Right, exactly.
So I started this show. I call it a one-man show. Actually, my son, who's a drummer, played drums behind me. Okay. Kind of give it a little bigger presence. Right. He had just graduated from HSPVA, the High School for Performing Arts.
What's his name?
Jake Helpenstiel.
Hey,
and he
how you
plays
doing,
with
Jake?
me now. He's playing with me now in the
I've seen some pictures,
reconstituted big band. Yeah,
right.
He's a fabulous drummer, and because he studied jazz drums, he is a jazz player, not me. I learned a lot about jazz from watching him go through HSPVA. Right. But jazz drummers can do something
Got
that
you
most
some free
rock
lessons
drummers,
from your son.
most rock drummers kind of shy away from, and that is he can play a great drum solo. Right. So he plays a lot of solo work during our shows now.
Okay. Yeah, just spices it up a little bit.
The reason I got into this Boogie Woogie thing is because when we would go play in Europe, there was kind of a rite of passage that if you were a piano player, you were supposed to go out on stage at a concert by yourself first and play something to kind of establish your credibility with the audience. Right. And so I would go out on stage and play a Boogie Woogie song, and then I'd bring the whole band out.
Kind of warm them up.
Yeah, then later on when we were playing concerts back home, we would play, if we played a 2-hour concert, we'd take a break in the middle, and everybody would leave the stage except me, and I would play a Boogie Woogie song that would give the horn players a break. So everybody got a break but me. Right. But then people started requesting that we put something like that on one of our records or our CDs at the time. So we were in the studio one time. We got down to the end, and the engineer said, well, you only have 9 songs. You need 10 songs to make a decent CD. I said, okay, well, let everybody go home, and I'll just play a Boogie Woogie song. So what I did is really typical of the history of Boogie Woogie. I just played a whole bunch of different Boogie Woogie songs mashed together and drew from everything I'd heard everybody else play. In my one-man show, I'd get to the end and I'd say, well, the story of Boogie Woogie can really be summed up in one word: plagiarism. Right. Because all the Boogie Woogie players just copied what everybody else was doing.
And just have their own spin on it.
So there's a track on this new vinyl record called...
Wait, don't say it. Don't say it. I'm going to try to guess, like, hold on. Hold on. I'm kind of like Johnny Carson. Hold on. Yeah. I'm going to say it's Ezra's Boogie Woogie. Am I right?
Well, that's what's printed, but it actually should be called Everybody's Boogie Woogie, because there's nothing original about it.
It's everybody.
And I didn't write it. I just put it all together and on the spur of the moment played this in the studio. But it turned out pretty good.
I'm going to go ahead and kind of give my own little rename to it and call it the Boogie Woogie Plagiarism.
Okay.
There we go.
Let's roll it.
By Ezra Charles. Oh, this will be the last song. Then we're going to do our interview, guys. Show off. Gee, holy, you know what, man? Just wow. He's over there because I'm thinking it's about to end. He's like, hold up, Alex. Here it goes. Hey, guys, that's the music part of Ezra Charles. Go check him out. I think this new vinyl has only been out for 2 weeks, correct? All right. Yeah. So be sure to follow Ezra Charles. He's absolutely amazing. He's also a Southern gentleman. That's what I'm picking up from him. Just a real nice guy and an entrepreneur. You know, we'll talk a little bit about that if he feels like it here a little bit later. We're going to take a little break, commercials there, do our thing, and we'll be right back with the one and only Ezra Charles.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gull Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Welcome back, everyone, to Texas Songwriters Alliance Audio Impact on Lone Star Community Radio. I am your host, Alex Lozano, and I am here with the legendary piano playing and venting entrepreneur, the one and only Ezra Charles. This is our interview part of it. I've got 10, possibly 13 questions. Ezra, how are you doing, young man?
Pretty good. So far, so good.
Okay.
It's been a blast.
That's awesome. We're so excited to have you here. We're thinking about even putting on a show. So if the Crichton Theaters listen, we have the legendary Ezra Charles for a Sunday afternoon matinee performance. I'll be talking to you guys soon. You can bet on it. So first question. These questions are really awesome. Thank you, Kimberly. I love you for helping me out with these questions. So here we go. Where there it is before. Oh, no, that ain't one. Okay. You've been called one of the most unique voices in Texas music. How did your early life shape your love for the piano?
Well, I took piano lessons from age 8 to 18, and I went off to college and fell in love with playing the piano because the piano in my house was terrible, and I never practiced. And I didn't realize till many years later the reason I never practiced is my tender young ears couldn't stand the sound of this terrible piano. And once I got around a bunch of really nice pianos, I really went crazy and loved it. And so I developed pretty rapidly into a much better piano player. Singing, I can think back singing. When I was 3 years old, my mother played the piano, and I sang on the radio station in Nacogdoches.
Oh.
I don't remember what I sang.
Right.
It must have been weird.
But you sang.
But then from then on, I consider myself kind of a natural singer. And I was reading a thing about country music singers, and this guy wrote a little synopsis, and he said, in his opinion, every country music singer is trying to sound like Merle Haggard, except one,
Right.
and that's Willie Nelson. And he said, why isn't anybody trying to sing like Willie Nelson? And I'm like, here I am. I'd love to sing like Willie Nelson.
Call me Willie Jr.
And when I define Texas music, to me, it is any kind of music where the person singing it has a Texas accent. That's what makes it Texas music.
I understand. I completely understand. I'm a country boy. I just can't make no money in the country. Question. I want to get to question number 2 because we just have a little bit of time, and we're going to extend this show because it's a very special guest, and you're legendary. So, we're going to bend the rules here just a little bit. I know the producer is a really cool guy, and it's all good. So, question number 2: before becoming a full-time musician, were you involved in electronics and inventing, and how did that chapter influence your approach to music?
Well, I've always been a dual personality. I'm a Gemini, and I have many planets in Gemini. If you know anything about astrology, that's
you're not one-dimensional. Yeah.
So from the very beginning, I've been interested in music, but at the same time, technology, specifically electrical things, especially when they pertain to music. And I went to college and got a degree in electrical engineering. Midway through, I realized I should be majoring in music, but it was too late to change. So when I got out of college, I fooled around building piano stuff and managed to build a way that you could use a regular piano and play in a band.
Right.
And that's turned out to be
a
world famous kind of a thing.
Really, and I will tell you, the first thing that popped into my head when you just started talking about that about 15, 20 seconds ago is you are without a doubt the Les Paul of electric pianos or something like that.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. I've thought of that myself, but nobody else has ever called me that.
Well, I'm kind of an innovator too myself. Just so you
you
got a head start on me.
I'm probably one of the few people you would ever meet that has 2 Wikipedia listings. I have a Wikipedia listing as Ezra Charles.
Oh, wow.
Then I have another Wikipedia listing with my given last name, Helping Still, and the piano.
Well, God, you're a Gemini. I mean, you got 2 for 2. Okay, we got question number 3. The piano isn't always the first instrument people think of in Texas blues. What drew you to make it the centerpiece of your sound? I mean, you kind of answered a little bit of that.
Well, first of all, I made it where you could hear the piano very well. And then secondly,
that's important.
In my bands for the last 30 or 40 years, I've never used a bass guitar. I play all of the bass lines myself on the piano, the lower end.
Oh, yeah.
And if you listen to Jerry Lee Lewis songs, the low end of the piano is very important to his sound too.
Sure.
Those low notes.
Right.
And that's one of the things that makes the piano dominant. After Jerry Lee Lewis got famous, it was hard for people to do that because you couldn't reproduce it live until I came out with a thing that I built that goes in the piano.
Right.
So that helped a lot.
Sure. Question number 4. We're moving along at a really fantastic pace, and I love these questions. You've often talked about the connection between storytelling and music. How do you decide which stories become songs?
Well, as I go through life, occasionally I will run across a phrase that becomes the idea for a song, and I write them down in a little workbook. So then when I get in the mood to write a song, I just go thumb through the pages till I see something that strikes my fancy. Like I wrote down the phrase Bolivar Ferry about 10 years before I wrote the song. And
Oh, wow.
one night I wanted to write a song, and I'm looking through it, and Bolivar Ferry comes up. I'm thinking, I know how that song should sound, and I'll get busy and write the song about Bolivar Ferry.
Wow. What a great connection back to that song again. Another good question here, and I like this one a lot too. Your performances are known for being high energy and interactive. How do you keep that spark alive after decades on the stage?
I have no idea, but I know that I do. I just have so much fun on stage. I just go crazy.
No. And I'm the same way because it's an inner fire inside of you to whatever it is. Everybody's a little bit different, and
I just love to rock out.
yeah, no doubt. So, wow, that's amazing. Good deal. All right. Number 6 here. In the evolution of your career, what was the turning point that made you realize that this is your path of life? When was that?
Well, I know that I had a much of a dual life until the early 80s. And as I was approaching 40 years old, I finally decided I really wanted to stop pussyfooting around and become a full-time professional musician.
Okay.
So I drove to Beaumont to meet my parents, and I said, you need to get used to this. I'm going to be a professional musician. I don't care if I have a degree in electrical engineering. I'm going to devote all my attention for a while now just to being a musician. And I kind of gave them a choice. Get the train's leaving the station. You can get on board or be left behind. and they got behind it, and they were, from that point on, they were very helpful to me.
Supportive, yeah.
Gave me their full support. And I was driving back to Houston, and I started realizing that when you go home and tell your parents you're going to be a full-time musician, that's a lot like bringing a girl home from the wrong side of the tracks and saying, I've decided this is who I'm going to get married to.
You're going to be seeing her a lot of her.
On the way back home on that drive, I wrote a song called You're the Music, and it's the last song on this vinyl record. And it's really my opus magnus about how you can read the song as a song to a girl, or you can read it as devotion to music as a trade.
Is that You Are the Music? Is that the
that's
one? Okay,
the last
I
song
remember
on the
that's
record.
a really good song. I listened to it yesterday. Many younger musicians struggle to find their own voice. What's your advice for developing a truly an original style?
Just play as much as you possibly can and listen to yourself. Record yourself, listen to what you're doing, and say, is this something that I would personally want to listen to if it was a record?
Right, because
And
you're
if
your
it's
worst
not,
critic.
Change it.
You're your worst critic, I think. I bet you are, but you're very hard on. Are you very hard on yourself? This is Michael. Are you very hard on
Not as
yourself?
hard as
about
I
your-
should have been. I'm so distracted. I've been doing so many things at once for so long.
Oh, yeah,
running
yeah.
a band and making sure all the musicians
Biting
are
off
happy.
more than you can chew, maybe every now and then. Maybe.
Well, it's just a busy process.
No, we
and
can't stop ourselves, guys.
I've
this.
never had the luxury of a manager or a producer. I've always had to do all that myself.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Has anybody ever approached you?
No, I'd be
What?
glad to turn it over to somebody else.
You got to be kidding me. That makes
Well,
absolutely zero sense. I do not believe
I think I
this.
intimidate most people. That's like,
Well, I get that a lot.
how can I tell this guy what to do? He knows more than I do already, you know.
Right. Well, trust me. Nobody resembles that remark more than me. I get Napoleon syndrome once a month. So
Yeah.
anyway, we won't go through that. Wow, that just blows my mind. And God, I wish I had a hot tub time machine, man. I'm so
Yeah.
busy right now. But heck, I mean, I'd still take you on if I could. So you're an amazing artist. Okay, that just cracks me up. Okay. Okay, number 8 here. You've shared the stage with a lot of incredible talent. Is there one collaboration or show that stands out as unforgettable?
Boy, I don't
think
know.
there's probably
There's
a
so
few
many.
of them. I know.
I was lucky enough to go to New Orleans and hang out with Professor Longhair in the 70s, and he actually showed me stuff to play. The very first day I met him, I was introduced to him. I went to a house, and there was a whole bunch of people there. And he came walking over to me, started pumping my hand and saying, I love your record.
Oh, he knew who you were. Okay.
He'd already heard a record that I had made. And so
He was
that
like, I need to talk
that
to
made me
this.
feel pretty good.
I need to talk to this white boy, whatever this
And
is.
I once got a chance to play at Rockefeller's in Houston for 2 nights of a weekend with Leon Russell. And I'd actually already met Leon Russell
That's huge.
at his house, and he
So
gave me a
huge.
piano lesson.
Yeah, you
And
told
then
me about
I
that.
got to open for him,
Leon Russell, Jesus.
and
I mean,
that show went over very well. And
rave reviews.
yeah, people
Oh.
came up to me on the street for the next 10 years saying,
Right.
"Hey, I saw you guys play with Leon Russell. You know, I liked you
Wow.
guys a lot better than Leon." Well, that's because Leon he's all over the map. You know,
Right,
he plays
right.
country, he plays jazz. People just
You
want to
can't
hear.
pigeonhole him at all.
Yeah, they want to hear "Roll Away the Stone" and "Queen of the Roller Derby,"
And that's
he
it.
never plays that regular stuff.
Right,
and that's all I do.
That is true.
Yeah.
And you do it well. You do it very well. Blues and boogie woogie are rooted in tradition. How do you balance honoring the history while still keeping it fresh and modern for your audiences?
Well, I just do what I do, and they either like it or they don't. If they don't like it, they should go listen to somebody else.
Right.
That's all I can do, you know.
Right.
I've gone through a bunch of different styles over the years. I've played rockabilly. I played swing around the turn of the millennium, but I was still doing my songs. I just made them sound different.
You have been such a great guest. I'm flowing through these questions now. I feel like, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I was pretty nervous about having this guy, even after meeting him yesterday. And thank you for that green tea. It was delicious. I really needed it. I was getting the cotton mouth for certain reasons, and I needed some liquid refreshments, and he hooked me up. I've got 3 bonus questions. There's no doubt I'm going to ask you all 3 of these before we close out the show. Looking ahead, what's next for you? More live shows, new recording, something completely unexpected, especially if you have an awesome manager like me. No, I just threw that in there, but anyway.
Well, when I put out when I put out the first CD that I made myself in 1993,
right.
we were trying to think of a name for the CD, and my wife at the time suggested we call it Ezra Charles: The Twilight Years. And this is in 1993.
You mean the Twilight Zone, man?
Yeah. So now I guess I truly am in my twilight years, and all I'm interested in now is how often can I get on stage and do what I like to do to entertain people.
Wow. Well, you know what? The Lord works in mysterious ways, and God's just sent me a text, and he told me I need to work with you on that. So we'll talk about that later and all that stuff, because we're both fueled by God, and you've been so much fun. Okay, here we go here. Here are the bonus questions, y'all.
All right.
Drum roll, please. Bonus. We got 3 of them, and they're all juicy. So the
Fire
first
away.
one here. If your life had a theme song that wasn't one of your own, what would it be?
Wasn't one of my own. That's the kind of question you want to think about for a couple of days before you come up with an answer. You know.
He's got dinner on the stove. We're good. We're totally good, buddy. Well,
Yeah,
so who do you think it would? I mean, just
Well, my favorite rock and roll song of all time is "What'd I Say" by Ray Charles.
oh wow,
And it's not a deep,
right?
complex meaning, but it is
It's an awesome song.
basically let's have some fun, and
Right.
then that's the kind of thing that I want to exemplify my
well,
shows and my life.
I know only the handful of times that I've seen you in passing. You don't think of it while you're at a basketball game that there's a brilliant piano player when Akeem Olajuwon is dunking the basketball. It just you know. So I got 2 more for you here.
Okay.
And these are really good too. So you've seen music styles come and go. Is there a past trend you secretly wish would make a comeback? I wasn't even ready for that one.
Well, I've tried jumping on trends. It's kind of like surfing, where you have to catch a wave when it comes by,
Right.
and it seems like I'm always a little bit behind the wave.
You're
whether
trying
it was-
to paddle
I
up.
did
and
that
catch-
with rockabilly. I did it with swing. I even did it with what I call techno bop, where I had electronic drums in the
Okay.
band, and in the 80s, and
Right.
we did the kind of electronic dance music. So I've pretty much done everything that's fun.
Did you
and,
ever? So my bad. Go ahead. Keep going.
And so people for years said, "Oh, that big band music, that's going to make a big comeback."
Right.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
And so there are a lot of things that not only are they not coming back, they've already come back and passed away.
And
but I think rock and roll, basic rock and roll,
Sure.
will never die.
Yeah, and I believe that too. And this ties into something, flows right into something that I saw in your book. So the book, storytellers, backstories. It's about every encounter he's had with every famous. He has a chapter on every famous person. It's a very interesting read. I haven't really had time to get into it, but me and my Kimberly, we're going to dive into it this weekend as we're going to Austin. So this is the last of the bonus questions, and then I got a couple of other things to close out the show with the awesome, very talented, and very, very interesting Ezra Charles. So last of the bonus questions. If you could time travel to jam with any musician in history, who would you choose? What song would you play together?
I think about this a lot. I would love to go back to the 1700s, sit down with Beethoven and play some boogie woogie and see how he would react to it.
He would absolutely jump out of his pants, man. Yeah. He would look at you like you were from outer space. You know what I'm saying?
Would he enjoy it? Would he think it was too raucous?
Man, I tell you what, I don't think I could have ended the show with a better question than that one, with you and Beethoven playing some boogie woogie.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So also before we go, there's a part of the show that we do to who you thankful for and the people that make a big difference in your life. We already know God does that, but besides that, who keeps your locomotive going in your, you know what I mean?
Well, I've been very lucky to have a couple of dozen really talented musicians enjoy playing with me enough to go the extra mile. We played for years, going to clubs all over the place and traveling to get there and playing under difficult circumstances, but everybody always had fun.
Oh my God.
And I owe everything. I couldn't do it without the musicians who have been in my bands.
Right. And I love the fact that you're a musician maker. You created an awesome drummer. You've got a backbeat. I'm just saying you did. I mean, you did a little work for that, but it's awesome.
Well, I'd like to tell everybody how to get a copy of this record.
Yes, let's do that.
A couple of ways.
Yeah.
First of all, you can go to our website at EzraCharles.com. You can order the record. You can order a copy of the book, backstories from there. Then we're doing a better job of getting these vinyl records into the logical places where people do that.
Yeah.
At Cactus Records in Houston, at Waterloo Records in Austin, Antone's Records. There's a big record store in New Orleans called.
I'll be in Austin this weekend.
The Music Factory.
I'm going to be talking about you all weekend.
We're continuing to work on getting the record into more places that specialize in vinyl records.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, let's definitely, I could at least stop at one place when I go to Austin this Saturday and represent, if you'd like me to. I think it'd be an honor to do that. Yeah. And it's been absolutely amazing. You've been the most interesting, dynamic interview that I've ever done so far, including all of my shows, my podcast, this. It's an honor and privilege. You are truly a Houston icon and legend. Be sure to follow and like Ezra Charles. Everything he does is good. I don't think I've ever heard a bad song from this man. And look out for us doing a show at the Crichton Theater and possibly maybe playing a benefit. I hear somebody might be putting on a big, giant benefit for Lone Star Community Radio, and maybe he might know somebody. And we'll see. We'll play it by ear. Ezra, thank you for being such a world-class act, and I just wish I would have met you sooner, but better late than never. You've been amazing.
Alex. It's been great. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Oh, man.